Welcome to the Tower Couch Podcast. I'm your host, Mitch, and as usual, we have that beautiful boy, Mike.
Yo.
And today we're going to talk about Frieren at Journey's End, the anime. But first, what's been going on, man?
Been herding ducks, making small communities to harvest worms so I can eventually fly.
Is this the beaver game you've been playing?
No, I was just talking IRL.
Oh, alright. Why are you eating, why are you hurting ducks?
Herding them.
Oh, herding them.
Yeah, so I'm gonna tie myself to all of them and then we're gonna fly.
Made a raft with turtles. I roped them with my back hair.
Did you ever watch James and the Giant Peach?
Probably a long time ago. I don't remember it all.
Seagulls.
I just remember that line from fucking Pirates of the Caribbean where it's like, I roped a bunch of sea turtles together to get off this deserted island, and he's like, what'd you use as rope? He's like, the hair from my back. It's like, okay. Speaking of movies, I watched the first two Venom movies. First one yesterday, second one today before I finished up our anime for this show. Dude, I don't know what I've been missing is how I felt about that. Have you ever watched any of them?
Nice, no.
Well,
I always liked Venom as a character, though.
It's fucking hilarious. It's just, I don't know, you can think of Venom's voice, it's like, fucking demon. Shit like that. But it's I don't know, there's a scene in the movie where Eddie Brock is just looks out the window of this giant corporate tower that he's in, that he broke into as Venom. He's like, alright, we're gonna go down. And then, it just cuts to a scene of him hitting the elevator button. Then, you just hear Venom's voice, pussy. It's just full of, random little shit like that. But Venom is a great character. Whoever wrote that was great. So it's a good watch. And the second one, Let There Be Carnage. Do you know who plays Carnage?
No, who?
Fucking Woody Harrelson.
Weird.
It's so good. He plays it so good. I know it's weird to see him in a serious, crazy role like that because he's he just plays an insane person. That's just what he plays. But normally he plays, a fun, comedic character.
And, No Country for Old Men, he's, more straight man. But he's, an assassin.
Oh, okay. There's, the man from Toronto, he's in that one, and I'm pretty sure he's an assassin. Or the main dude that, versus him is an assassin or some shit like that. I think it's him, though, who's the main character. So apparently he likes just killing shit. In Zombieland, he kills shit a lot too. So I mean, that's his deal. But yeah, usually as a comedic character, he's not comedic at all in this movie. Besides the one-liners whenever he whenever he gets Carnage to be whenever they're together as one, he's so overconfident that he gets that comedy side out of him with these just crazy one-liners and shit like that. I don't know, Woody Harrelson's just, I feel he's a really underrated actor, and that's why everybody loves him, but, he's not, I don't know, he's not on that, giant AAA list of, the people that are always used in films, you know what I mean? But probably should be.
Most famous movie was probably that, those Planet of the Apes movies.
See, I've never even seen any of those.
Yeah, they kind of just came and went. They were a big thing, when they first started, and then it just kind of, dropped off a cliff.
Well, everybody makes fun of those names. Rise of the Planet of the Dawning of the Apes, or whatever.
Yeah, it got ridiculous.
Yeah, the names of those movies are, Panic at the Disco fucking song titles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are really good movies. enjoyed them a lot. I did want to watch The Last Dance, but we had to record this today, and we're doing a cookout, which I'll come get you for after the show. We're gonna line up with the neighbors and just do like a little group cook-off. Some people are coming over. That'll be a good time.
Sorry, I had to check this. That's why I was like kind of out. But he's a drug dealing psychopath gangster that's like super violent and Seven Psychopaths.
I've never even heard of that movie.
It's a really good movie.
Nice. Oh, did want to say something. Dude, one of my favorite podcasts finally ended. Fucking Nude Clan, a video game podcast. They did like a 6.5 hour fucking episode for their end episode, and I'm just like, man, this is gonna suck. Like, what am I supposed to do now? Re-listen to them like I already do all the time? It just sucks. So, shout out Nude Clan. I love you guys. Thank you for getting me through the fucking work days, man. Have you ever had a show? Sorry, have you ever had a show end on you like that? Like just end on you, and like you're just like fuck.
Yeah, there's this morning show I was listening to. Dude just got to stop streaming. He just streamed random shit. He was like made music, mixing shit up and whatnot.
Nice. Yeah, that sucks. I used to listen to this dude named Youngblood. He's like real big and popular now, like musician-wise. Like he's a musician from the UK. And I've been seeing these videos pop up more and more and more as his new album's approaching like its release date. And he's like at bars and shit behind the counter serving everybody, and like he's all about his fans. Like, all about his fucking fans. And about, like, positivity and shit like that. And, like, just not giving a fuck. Fucking... It's weird, dude. Me and Casey were talking about it earlier. The dude is, like... He's like, it's fucking rock and roll, mate! Like, that's, like, his whole thing. It's just, like, trying to preserve, like, that old style of rock and roll. And how everything is. But, like, it's weird. Like, his vibe is, like... Lady Gaga / fucking, I don't know, Motley Crue / cause like, he incorporates pop into his music too. So it like turns into like the fan base loving thing like Taylor Swift. And it's like the strangest fucking thing. But like, I watched this interview, I listened to this interview, from some podcast that they did with him. It was like 2 hours long or some shit. And I was like just interested to see why everybody is like so obsessed with this dude. And after hearing that interview, I'm just like, I think this is like the perfect example of what a human being should be. So that's pretty crazy. Oh no, he's just like, I don't give a fuck about what anybody says about me. I'm out. If you sit there and say shit to me, he's like, I used to read the comments and just get like pissed. He's like, nah, just don't read the comments because like it just doesn't matter. Just none of this matter. You know what, man? Like, fuck you. I'm just gonna let go and I'm gonna do my thing and I'm just gonna make everybody love everybody, and that's just what I'm gonna do because I just want a better life for everybody. And I was like, wow. It's like, that's one way to say it, man. That's pretty tight. It was a really interesting interview. You should listen to it sometime. I'll have to find it for you. But yeah, he like... I don't know, it's definitely some music I think you'd be into, minus like the pop part, maybe. But I mean, you need some kind of like good old hook for it, you know? A nice like a nice hook that you're like, yeah! It's basically every song, essentially.
I've been listening to, like, Pantera again.
Nice.
And, Alice in Chains.
Hell yeah. I've also been listening to, Lorna Shore. Finally gave them a chance. And they're just, like, this deathcore band from New Jersey that everybody loves for some reason. Their instrumentals are insane. I don't like super heavy death pig squeals constantly because that's all their vocals are essentially. But
Yeah,
their fucking instrumentals are top fucking tier though. It's awesome. Like their guitar player, their drummer, their bass dude, like they all just fucking crush it. And honestly, the vocalist for what he is doing does crush it. So I mean, it's a good listen if you're just into that kind of shit. I just kind of block out the sounds and just listen to the instruments. Not shitting on them. It's just like that's just not for me, you know.
Yeah, there's like I was trying to listen to what's that like real fucking heavy Scandinavian shit. Like
Rammstein?
Behemoth.
Oh, Behemoth. Okay.
I like Behemoth a lot. They pull it off for me, but like most bands that like death metal or dark metal or whatever the fuck it would be called is like a little too much.
Well, they're like twice as heavy as Behemoth, and that says something. You know what I mean? Like Behemoth's heavy as fuck. I remember whenever one of my buddies fucking showed me Behemoth, and I was like, this fucking shit's awesome. But, like, the thing with deathcore bands for me is I can listen to it, and I'll be like, alright, that's hardcore. And then I'll watch a music video and be like, this is super cringy. And that's how both of those bands are.
They, like, do the whole, like, Cradle Fill stuff.
Yeah. Like, I remember this black and white music video from Behemoth, and I forget what it is, but, like, he's, like, dressed up in this costume. He's like, it's like, alright, this is a bit much, man. Like, you know, you could just, like...
You're doing the pose from the Bahamut statue.
Yes! Yes, that shit. What song is that?
I think it's Conquer... or Conquer All or something.
That sounds familiar. It's probably what it is. I haven't heard it since I was like not even out of high school yet. Maybe right out of high school. So
really weird though. Fucking band is Polish, song is in Polish, title is English.
Yeah, maybe it's just because it's like we're gonna have to translate some shit to get some hits and some viewers because nobody's gonna know what the fuck this shit is.
Like some Winderwander Snitch or some shit like that, and it's like that's not really catchy.
Well, that's like that Slaughter to Prevail band, the one that wears like
yeah,
where Alex the Destroyer or some shit, whatever the fuck his name is.
They're German, aren't they?
I don't know what they are. Oh, no, Alex the Terrible, maybe? I don't know. But, like, that dude in itself is just, like, super fucking cringe. To the point where he's, like, this huge hulking dude. And, like, he went and did, like, a fight thing at a fight club and beat the piss out of this dude. So, like, he's with the shit. But, like, I don't know. Like, the band wearing all those fucking masks with, like, the gold and the sharp teeth and the horns. And shirt off all the time. Just like, I don't know. It's just, It's like, you're more of an act than you are a band. Does that make sense?
What do you think of, like, the Misfits? You think they're cringy?
I don't think the Misfits are cringy. The Misfits are just, like, their own thing.
There you go. Okay.
Like, that's,
I see that.
Yeah, like, the Misfits are just the Misfits. Everybody loves Misfits. Like, there's no way somebody can't find a song that they don't like with the Misfits. Because, you know, they have, like, the discography of, like, 100 years, I swear.
I seen one comment, I think it was on one of their songs or some shit, it was like, if only they were as popular as their merchandise.
Right, exactly. Like, how many times in high school did you see somebody wearing a fucking Misfits t-shirt?
Yeah, and those fucking gloves that they wore, like, everybody wore those.
Yeah.
Every, like, alternative chick wore those, skull gloves.
Yeah. The way I look at the Misfits is this. So there's the Grateful Dead with their type of music is what, like, Misfits is to the punk scene.
Yeah.
Like, that's that thing. You know, because you got, like, Fish, and you got the Grateful Dead, and then you got all those other fucking weird bands that, like, play that psychedelic kind of, like, fun, just happy, hippie music. And then you got the Misfits who just like they're like the top of punk. Like they made like I don't know. I feel like they spread punk out to be way more of a thing just because it's them. You know,
they were in the Insane Clown Posse movies as well.
I've never seen an Insane Clown Posse movie.
They are super weird ass movies.
Are they movies or just like
They're movies.
Oh.
They're like some Cheech and Chong shit.
Oh, I just thought you meant like a documentary.
Nah, they're like was it the one that I seen that has the Misfits in it, the blonde dude is
Violent J.
gang leader, and the other dude is an undercover detective.
Oh, shit.
And they're like in full makeup the whole time.
I remember Kevin showed me ICP for the first time, and I was like, this is like, I'm embarrassed to listen to this, but I love it because it's just hilarious. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I don't want people to know I listen to this.
Some of their songs are kind of catchy too.
They got a lot of ones. I remember whenever my favorite album came out by them, which was called The Wraith, like everybody who liked ICP shit on that motherfucker so hard. I was like, what? It's like more of a catchy one. They're like, nah, man, this ain't ICP. This shit sucks.
Gathering. That's what I've always wanted to do. That's like the only interest I've had.
I just want to see what it's like. Like, I really do.
Yeah.
Just, dude, we should fucking go one day. Just for, like, not like a whole week, but like a day or so. Just to see what it is, you know? I used to work with a dude that never missed a gathering in, like, 10 years.
Nice. I watched video, like, documentaries about the gathering and, like, news interviews and shit like that.
How were they?
They're pretty crazy. Was it, there's, this, like, dance competition or some shit? Where these chicks just got, like, in kids' swimming pools, there's a bunch of those little inflatable swimming pools. They're that or the hard plastic ones.
Yeah,
and there's just chicks in, like, bikinis with just white t-shirts on, pouring Fanta all over each other and, like, pseudo fighting while they, like, did graphic things with the Fanta bottles.
Oh. We gotta go to the gathering then. That's what he was telling me. He's like, it's crazy. He's like, yeah, bro, you can go into a tent and they just, like, give you free weed. And then you'll come out and there's just, like, people walking, like, there's just chicks just walking around butt naked. And, like you said, doing graphic things with objects that are of the
most of the time you'd rather they, like, wore clothing.
What is it?
I said most of the time you would rather them that wear clothing.
Yeah, that's, like, the picture I got in my head from seeing, like, all the Juggalo pictures and fans and stuff was like, oh, it's like a nudist colony where, yeah, you think that you're gonna go there and be like, oh, look at all these great naked bodies. And then it's like, well, what comes with the good is the bad. So it's like, oh no, it's not just the hot people. It's all the people take their fucking clothes off. It's like
There's also a higher likelihood that everybody there smells.
Yes.
No offense. And it's also like a fucking, isn't it like multiple days? So yeah, everybody's probably pretty ripe after a while.
Yeah, it's like any festival, dude. Like, just fucking gets fucking stank. But I mean, fuck, dude. I've been to a one-day Renfest festival, and it just fucking reeked, man. Like, people just fucking reek there. And, like, we're out in the July sun, everybody's eating giant turkey legs and drinking Blue Moons, and it's just like, you look over at the bathroom area, like, all the giant circle of, like, a billion porta potties, and if you even go, like, anywhere near there, it's just, like, horrific. And then there's bees flying all over the trash cans and the fucking flying all around the fucking, like, porta potties. It's just not good, man. It's just not good. How you enjoying that Zelda game though?
Pretty good.
What
Did you even tell them about it? Did you even tell them you selected it yet?
No, I didn't. For our next game pick, since we just did the Overlord 2, we're gonna do Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom for the Nintendo Switch. And honestly, I thought you were gonna hate it, Mike. I really did.
Really?
Yeah, but also there was that creative part of it where I was like, he might really like this too. So I don't know.
Why did you think I was gonna hate it?
Because it's just completely different. Like it's not really. It's a Zelda skin over a totally different game. Like that's how it feels like to me.
You are Zelda though.
Yeah, you are Zelda, but it's like the whole land of Hyrule, like everything is Zelda, but it's just not like the game itself is not a normal Legend of Zelda. So
yeah, there's a lot of open space to it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of annoying.
Did you get the water block yet? Where you can summon the water blocks?
The goose?
No, they're just like square blocks of water that you can summon. Once you get that, there's no more.
Sorry.
There's no more fucking walking around trees and shit. Like you just stack them and get up on top of the trees and just keep going.
I just use the fucking trampoline all the time.
Yeah, you can do that too. Or you can always get a horse. I used the horse a couple times and then I was done with it because I was like, I'll just use these blocks of water. It's fine. But yeah, it's a fun ass game.
Yeah.
You're not coming through very well.
I like the beds.
Oh, do you stack them too?
Yeah. Anytime there's a gap or anything.
Yeah, you can also jump up on the bed and stack it again and make it like steps.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning.
Nice.
I like bridge gaps with it.
Hell yeah. You been playing anything else? I've just been playing Doom, The Dark Ages, and I played Zelda right before I selected it. So that's basically all I've been playing. Oh, and Lunar. So, same thing as the past month.
It's what I intended playing for a while, obviously.
Oh, the Beaver Civilization game?
Yeah, it got pretty good.
Yeah,
I dammed up this bat. There's usually multiple water sources, all depending on your map, but there's, at the very least, there's 2 water sources. And one of them is normal water, and the other water is bad water. Bad water, contaminates the ground and kills the plants and shit. And I was like, I'm gonna dam up this bad water to dry up a place downstream. And so I dammed it up, and I was waiting there, because, you can set down, all your plans for shit to be built. It doesn't have to be immediately, and it'll enter, a queue, and you can set the priority of the building and the priority of the workers in the building. And, so eventually the dam got built. And then it turned out there was, a hole in the side of the wall that was right by my city, and my whole city got flooded by bad water, and everybody's contaminated and couldn't work, and they all died of old age.
How much is this game? This sounds fun.
I forget. It sat on my wish list forever.
Oh, so you just picked it up for fun?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, go on.
Finally broke my rule of, going back on my save, and I went back and patched that hole before, the dam was complete, and what else I'm doing? Yeah, I'm trying to build my giant, a mansion apartment building thing by stacking multiple buildings or apartments on top of each other and then building, woodwork all around it.
Nice. I'm doing my usual Castlevania runs here and there with Kid Dracula. I play it at work. Pretty much that's the only time I really play it. Like most Castlevania games on the Switch, it comes with a save state, And if I have to keep repeating, like you said, going back on your save thing, I don't even care at Castlevania games, dude. If I have to keep playing through this part that I can beat and then get to this other part that I can't beat, I'm just gonna save scum so I don't have to keep doing that. Like,
Cheater.
I don't give a fuck. Like, the game is so fun and I just want to get through it and beat it, but I'm not gonna sit there and do the same thing over and over and over again whenever I can do it flawlessly. It's just like that one part, like in the middle or at the end, where I have to be like of a level where it's just super annoying. Like, there's a part in one of the levels where you have to jump on this hover thing that, like, launches you up in the air, but at the top there's spikes, so you have to jump off in time. And sometimes you'll just get stuck if you hit the top, and you can't get out of it, and you just die instantly.
Well, it's like everybody bitches about the one block jump in the original Mario whenever there's like one frame that you have to jump through on the one for the Super Nintendo. It's just like these two spikes like almost touching each other. You have to jump like right in between them.
Yeah, on the original Mario, I have a save state like right before this one jump that's like that. I'm just like, well, I died, like, I had a bunch of lives, and I died so many times, too. I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna save right here, and one day I'll pick it back up and run, and I'm just gonna jump on that block. And I'm gonna make it, and I'm gonna be done with this shit.
You can do it.
Yeah.
Wait till it gets to the double single block jump.
I think that's where I'm at, where it's like a block, and nothing but air, then another block, then nothing but air, and then you land on the other side. I think that's where I'm at. Come to think of it. I think that's all. Doom, Dark Ages, still fun as fuck. I jumped in a giant Doom mech and fought huge Titan things and destroyed, like, parts of cities. And I got to fist fight Titans, and it was awesome. And you get a giant double fucking railgun where you're just like... It's just fucking sick, dude. So satisfying.
You got weapon upgrades on that one, too?
What is it?
In the 2016 one, you had 2 weapon upgrades per weapon.
Oh, yeah. You get tons of weapons, and you have your melee gauntlet, and you have your shield, and all that shit gets, like, 4 upgrades. Pretty awesome. You just find a shrine. You collect gold, and then you find a shrine, and then give the gold to the shrine, and just make it. Like, you're basically making a build, if that makes sense. So, I love whenever you get to make builds in games, so that's always really fun for me. Alright, you want to talk about Frieren?
Let's go.
Alright, Frieren, Beyond Journey's End is an anime television series based on the manga series of the same name written by Kanehito Yamada and illustrated by Tsukasa Abe. It is produced by Madhouse and directed by Kiichi Saito with script supervision by Tomohiro Suzuki. Character designs by Ryuko Nagasawa and music composed by Evan Call. Okay, everything was super Japanese until the music. The story follows... I'm glad I get to read this because I'm not really understanding what this anime is about, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, I get it that it's a quote-unquote journey, but I'm just kind of like, is there an actual plot here, or are we just watching a journey? You know what I mean? So...
Yeah.
I don't know. The story follows elven mage Frieren, a former member of the party of adventurers who defeated the Demon King and restored harmony to the world after a 10-year quest. As years pass, Frieren stays the same due to her longer lifespan, while the others age. Many years after the hero Heimel's death, Frieren regrets keeping her former companions at arm's length and not getting to know them better during their adventure. After learning of the resting place of souls in the northernmost part of the continent, Frieren embarks on a long journey to give Heimel's soul a proper farewell. In the process, Frieren and a new group of traveling companions retrace the path to the Demon King's castle taken by Frieren's original party, bringing back old memories. The 2 consecutive course series premiered with a 2-hour special on September 29th, 2023 on Nippon TV's programming block Kinyo Roadshow, which is normally reserved for feature films, becoming the first anime series to do so. Later episodes debuted on the new block Friday Anime Night on the same network as and its affiliates, and ended on March 22, 2024. For the 4-episode premiere broadcast, the special ending theme is Bliss, which was performed by Millet. The first opening theme is Yusha, also called Hero, by Yao Sabi, while the ending theme is Anytime Anywhere by Millet. The second opening theme is Sunny, also known as Haru, I don't know, by Yoroshika, and the second ending theme includes a different part of Anytime Anywhere. Toho Animation compiled the episodes into 7 Blu-ray and DVD sets, which were released from January 24th to January 17th, 2024. 11 short episodes titled Soso no Frieren, Marumaru no Maho, was released on Toho Animation's YouTube channel and on Frieren's official Anime X and TikTok accounts from October 11, 2023 to March 24, 2024. There you go. So, I guess that's to sum up a little bit. The show is kind of important. It has gotten multiple awards as Best Drama, which is another thing to add that I was reading about this. Yeah, it's definitely more of a drama, I would say. How do you feel about the characters in the show before we start on these episodes?
Frieren is one of my favorite anime characters by far.
Good, I'm glad you said that, because I fucking kind of hate her. There's no, I don't know, she just seems like very, there's no emotion there. Just none. With her character and her voice actor. It's kind of like, hey dog, what's up? This is the spell that I've made to destroy demons. Are you ready to destroy the demons?
Potions you got that melts clothing.
There's that. We'll get into that. Have you watched the whole thing? We're only doing an episode on the first 12 episodes, guys. We might do the other part later on. We just haven't decided yet. Did you watch?
I watched 12, but I'm going to continue watching.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I plan on continuing to watch. I really enjoy the story. It's really well written.
Yeah.
I don't know, pretty much I love everything about the show except for the main character. If she had, there is, some fun emotion to her in the very last episode, I think it is. And I'm just like, if you could be like that this whole show, I would just be, locked in. Where she's, trying to trick Fern into her, well, fucking with her about, oh, did you get him a present yet? It's like, oh, yeah, check this out. And then she, jumps up and starts digging for shit.
Yeah, it was funny. Well, she's always, kind of like that throughout the show. Whenever, they were talking about whenever she was adventuring with them, and they're like, everybody was like, that chest is definitely a mimic. And she's like, well, what if it's not? There's always the possibility that it's not. And then she, gets its half sticking out of the mimic's mouth, just flailing around.
Yeah, there are some little parts like that.
And then with the dragon.
Oh, the dragon's sick. I love that episode.
Yeah, see, that's what I was talking about with how the last anime we watched was. Because a lot of this anime is this more, mundane, toned down type animation. And I think that's good for expressing certain types of stories well. But then, this dragon's, all fucking super detailed and crazy looking.
Right. Alright, let's talk about Frieren episodes. Episode 1. So, there's a party of Himmel the hero, Priest Hyder, Dwarf Warrior Eisen, and the Elf Mage Frieren, which the story focuses around. it's basically all a flashback from. It's like shows you the 10-year quest they were on to go defeat the Demon King. And eventually, once they're done, they all kind of part ways. And Frieren goes around and, like, meets everybody, like, after so long. And their hero, the hero Heimel, he dies of old age. And she's, like,
that's glorious, that's mustache.
Yeah. And beard.
Yeah.
Is it a beard, or is it just a mustache?
Yeah, he's got a beard.
Okay. And he's like, he dies, and she starts crying and shit. She's like, I just wish I would have. I realize I don't know these people, so she goes around and starts meeting all the people from this past journey that they went on years upon years ago. And eventually she meets Hyder, who is the priest who was an alcoholic, and all he did was, like, party pretty much the whole journey. Whenever they were just hanging out and shit. Well, he has an adopted orphan named Fern. She's 9 years old, but she has, like, great magic capabilities. Hyder suffers from, like, death anxiety in his older age now, and just asks Frieren to research this life-extending magic and tutor Fern in magic in her spare time. She agrees to it because Fern seems to be very exceptional at magic. So it's kind of like a dying dude's wish, and he's kind of just like, I don't know if this is actually going to work, but if you could figure out this magic that could resurrect me, or, what is it, heal him, or give him, like, he can't die of old age or whatever.
What happened was, like, he first asked her if she could take him, or take Fern on as an apprentice, and because he's dying and whatnot, and she's like, oh, well, she'll just get in the way. Like, Frieren's very, like, matter-of-fact type of person, I guess you could say. Or would that be right? She's just kind of says things straight up and doesn't really care to be a human. Well, she's an elf, but still. She doesn't care to have, like, what we would call humanity. And
well, she's like, what'd she say before? 100 years is 1/100th of her life, or some shit like that?
Yeah, she's, like, over 1,000 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I don't think they ever say, like, exactly how long elves live, just that it's absurdly long. Like, she doesn't look any older in any of the flashbacks. Well, some of the older flashbacks she looks kind of younger, but Frieren pretty much stays exactly the same through the 100 years.
Yeah, she just looks like a little girl, essentially. Like a little elf chick.
Yeah. And, Himmel tries to get her to study a grimoire so he can try to either be immortal or extend his own life long enough so he can watch over Fern until she's of age to take care of herself. And he's like, well, while you're here, you can train her and see if she's any good or whatever. And I think that's whenever it goes into the second episode.
Yeah, episode 2, it didn't have to be magic. I'll read this one out to you for the listeners, just so they understand how a lot of this is flashback and there's like a little twist to it that me and you talked about, we both loved. Frieren spends 4 years tutoring Fern while translating an ancient grimoire concerning immortality. Hyder collapses and can no longer walk. Fern declines to visit immediately, explaining that she must train continuously to become a mage before Hyder dies, because that would be his one, like, big wish, essentially. She wants to show him this... What is it?
She wants to impress him as well, like...
Yeah.
As it's like her father figure that saved her life. She wants to try to repay him and show that it wasn't in vain.
Yeah, because when her parents died, she was really sad. She was gonna, like, kill herself even as a little girl, and he stopped her, essentially. The grimoire revealed nothing about life extension, and Hyder admits that he used this prospect to ensure that Frieren should stay the tutor for Fern. Fern finally masters an offensive spell, and Hyder dies. She joins Frieren in her travels to continue to learn. They use magic to easily complete mundane tasks for townspeople, mainly for grimoires that Fern wants that have like weird spells, like, oh, you can just grow flowers out of the ground, because that's like her hobby. And like that's where the episode comes from. It didn't have to be magic. She explains like it was just always a hobby of mine. It was just something I was interested in. It didn't have to be magic. It's just something I wanted to do, kind of deal, because I was good at it. Fern is surprised and frustrated about Frieren's commitment to a seemingly minor cosmetic task. While reflecting about her motivation and friendship with Heimel, Frieren finds the live flower and a rodent seed horde, allowing her to conjure a field of them in memory. Fern realizes it is important to have a passion, be it for magic or anything else, because there is a flower that only grows where Heimel is from. It's like this little blue root flower or some shit. And they're like trying to find this fucking flower forever, and they finally find it so they can like grow flowers alongside like statues of him and shit.
Yeah, there's some like weird squirrel thing, and Frieren places a spell on it where like wherever it walks, it leaves tracks, and they just follow it back to this abandoned tower, and it's full of nuts and all kinds of random seeds, and has all kinds of those flowers growing inside the top of it.
Yeah. Killing magic, Fern notices Frieren is acting suspiciously and follows her to several unusual and dangerous shops. Frieren admits that, despite her efforts, she has learned almost nothing about Fern. Frieren decides to revisit places she visited with Heimel, Hyder, and Eisen. The first place is a village where Frieren sealed away Qual, the demon of corruption. The seal is going to break soon, so essentially she tells Fern that, and gets Fern to like up her defensive magic so she can protect her while she readies a spell for 30 seconds to destroy him. He's like this giant demon encased in stone. So after they get done... What is it?
What do you think of his design?
Just look like a normal demon, dude.
Like his like masked face looking thing.
Yeah, that was weird. He was like a demon, but still wore a demon mask. If that makes sense. I don't know.
I don't know exactly how demons work. They say they're just like creatures, but they have all kinds of different forms, it seems.
In this show, for sure. And we'll definitely be getting into that later in this talk of episodes. Once she gets her defensive spells up and shit, and she gets them down, she goes over and she's like, "Are you ready?" And like breaks the seal on him. And there is a spell that he has learned to turn on them. But she has also learned that same spell and recreated it to destroy demons. And just fucking crushes them. So that's basically the spell she uses the whole show. Because all they ever kill is demons and shit like that. Oh, what were you going to say, Mike?
Zoltrak,
there you go. I was trying to remember the name of it, but I couldn't remember. Episode 4, The Land Where Souls Rest. In exchange for cleaning a beach, Frieren receives a grimoire written by famous mage Flame. How do you say it? Do you remember? Flam?
Yeah, I think it's Flam.
That was her teacher, you find out later on. Even though it is fake, the work is finished by the new year when the locals can all like watch the sunrise because it's a tradition thing. And basically, Frieren recalls Flam was her human master 1,000 years ago who instructed her to find her home if she ever felt regret and wanted to speak to the dead. Frieren recovers Flam's genuine grimoire, which describes where all souls go. Arioli, at the northmost point of the continent, where the Demon Lord's castle is located. On the way home, Aizen is happy. Frieren is learning to care about people and is a good teacher to Fern. Frieren asks Aizen to accompany them to Ariel, but Aizen declines, citing that it would slow her down in his old age. However, he reminds her that their original adventure to the Demon King's castle took 10 years, which Frieren acknowledges. There's the whole big thing about the whole 10 years, because everybody is a human that she's with. And she has like this big problem because of her first journey that everybody just dies. And people are trying to tell her, like, that is not, like Aizen specifically, like that's not the way you're supposed to look at this. Like, you don't hang out and have friends because they'll all just die later on. You know?
Yeah. But she's like super aloof. I forget. That's like later on. They flash back to like when they first met her.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Episode 5, Phantoms of the Dead. Frieren acknowledges 10 years is potentially a length of Fern's lifespan, but Fern decides to follow her. A short way into the journey, they enter a village where several people disappeared after seeing ghosts of their deceased relatives. They go through this forest where there's these phantoms that know everything about the person that they like love or like think about all the time, and basically try to trick them and kill them. And Frieren is just like, nah, fuck that. You got to kill all these people. And she sees Heimel when before she saw Flom. So there's like this undertone of love for Heimel that she has. Like she was in love with him, kind of. And
every time they flash back to him, they show him being like the selfless hero. And the thing that he says to her, whatever the ghost transforms into him, tells Frieren to shoot.
Yeah. And Fern sees Hyder, which is, you know, the priest dude that raised her and this and that, and they just fucking blast him. And then the forest is cleared out, and they can see, and it's all nice and bright, so they fix all that up. Fern is almost caught by Hyder's ghost, but Frieren easily shoots Heimel's ghost, exposing the Einsam so Fern can destroy it. Continuing on the journey, Frieren decides to kill a dragon to collect a grimoire from its nest. This requires a strong warrior, so they seek out Stark, one of Aizen's students, which is, by the way, his most powerful student, who wants to defeat the dragon in a staring contest and now lives nearby. Stark admits he has never killed a monster before, and only won the famous staring contest because he was frozen in fear. Frieren gives him until morning to decide to help. Fern doubts he is capable, but Frieren is confident, since thanks to Aizen's training, Stark possesses the strength to cut through solid rock with his axe. He trains by putting this giant fissure in a mountain with this double-headed axe. That's what he does.
Yeah, Frieren notices it when they first meet him.
Yeah, he's I thought they didn't notice it at all until they realized, like, they saw him train and were like, oh, this fissure was next to you because you made this fissure.
Fern didn't realize it, but Frieren seen the fissure and like went up and touched it and inspected it. I was thinking she was realizing what it was.
Gotcha. Episode 6, The Hero of the Village. Stark admits that even though he is strong enough to take on the dragon, he is too afraid. Fern encourages Stark to do it. The next day, Stark reluctantly agrees to distract the dragon despite still being scared. However, Frieren points out that Aizen was always scared as well before a major battle. Stark then engages the dragon and manages to kill it without needing any assistance from Frieren and Fern, because Frieren just kind of like looks down and lets him fight him. And he's like, "What the fuck, dude?" And like, she's like, "He's already dead, dude. He already killed
him." Plan was for him to buy time so she could shoot him with a spell. And they're just like, she backs away from the ledge, so they don't he doesn't see him, And then he's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "It's already dead."
Yeah, chill, man. Frieren collects the grimoire, and Stark agrees to accompany her on her journey. The trio head north to the city of Wall, but find out that the checkpoint is closed due to increased monster activity in the northern lands. Frieren is content to stay in the city to continue her magic research, but Fern and Stark grow concerned when they find out it may take up to 2 years before the checkpoint can be reopened. Stark reveals to Fern that he wants to go on an adventure so that he can return to Eisen to regale him with his stories. Fortunately, the city's Castellan recognizes Frieren, and believing that she has headed north to pacify the monsters, Godly opens the checkpoint for her. Frieren and her party are given a hero's send-off, which embarrasses Frieren, but Fern and Stark are excited that this marks the official beginning of their adventure. So we're on episode 6 out of, I think it's 28, and that's when the actual new adventure is kind of like realized. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because, well, what is it? The time jump? There's a time jump where Fern just, like, becomes, like, teenager, almost, like, middle teenager or whatever. But her face doesn't really change that much. Like,
she doesn't age, like,
at
all. She doesn't age at all. The time jumps, the only reason I can tell something's a time jump is because you can obviously tell it's a flashback, for one, and two, the people that are with her outside of the normal journey. So it's like, oh, well, this is clearly from the past.
It's hard, like, with Fern, she met her when she's 9, and then they left when she's, like, 12. And then it seems like there's another time jump before they meet Stark, because she's like, Stark says something about them being around the same age.
Yeah.
And they celebrate Stark's, like, 18th birthday.
I thought you were talking about Fenrir. Or Frieren, sorry.
Nah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. I mean, it does kind of bump into your face. You're like, oh, okay, we're here now.
Yeah, Fern's just all of a sudden taller than Frieren.
Yeah. Episode 7, Like a Fairy Tale. Frieren and her party continue to travel north, and Frieren explains the elven race has been declining ever since. Due to their long lives, they are too apathetic to even reproduce. They pass by another village with statues of her and her original party who celebrate Liberation Day. Frieren recalls a memory where Heimel was adamant that the party leave behind statues of themselves as reminders to Frieren that they actually existed and are not simply fairy tales. Heading to another city, Frieren spots demons and tries to attack them, only to be arrested by the city guards for threatening peace envoys. Fern and Stark visit Frieren in the dungeon and reveal that one of the demon lord's lieutenants, Aura, has recently regained her power and has been waging war against the city for 28 years, leading both sides to open peace talks. However, Frieren warns the experience that demons are incapable of being reasoned with, since they only learn human language as a way to deceive humans. Just as Frieren predicted, the demon peace envoy, led by Lugner, are simply there to trick the city into lowering its barriers so Aura can raise it with her army. However, one of his attendants, Drott, heads to the dungeon to assassinate Frieren, but she warns him that she is far more powerful than Aura.
He does it with a rope, a magical wire, tries to assassinate her, and she like uses her mana to block it. And he's like super cocky, and he just tries to pull the string harder and lifts her up in the air, and she's like, "Oh no, you've won." And he's like, chuckles at her. He's like, I forget exactly what he says after that, but
he has like these like strings of blood or some shit that come out of his hands. Like these.
I think they're just wires.
They're like wires that come out of his hands, but the other dudes have blood, so like maybe that's what it's supposed to be, like this weird blood string that comes out of his hands or whatever.
Well, the one dude like controls his blood, and then the chick just like materializes weapons somehow. I think that's just her magic power.
But yeah, he tries to string her up, and she just like chops his fucking arms off and then crushes his fucking head.
Yeah, strangles him and then blows it up his throat or some shit.
Yeah, like just squeezes his throat so hard his head pops essentially, and there's just like a spray of blood. It's like, oh, there's violence in this show? Holy shit, that was epic.
I was waiting for this. As soon as I seen the demon dude, I was like, oh, this is what I've been waiting for. This is the bread or the meat and potatoes of the show.
This is where you basically find out, because it ends the episode on this, and this leads into episode 8, where the title is fitting. Frieren the Slayer. Drott ignores Frieren's warning and attacks her, but she easily kills him and escapes the dungeon. The city's Graf, Granant, becomes suspicious about Drott's disappearance and Frieren's escape and confronts Lugner. With his plot exposed, Lugner, I'm just gonna call him Lug. Fuck him. That name is so fucking stupid. Lug captures Granat with the intention of forcing him to disable the city's barrier. Meanwhile, Fern and Stark agree to warn Granat about Lugner when they come across Fenrir. Fenrir refuses to help them against Lug, confident that the two are strong enough to defeat him. Instead, Frieren leaves to confront Aura, who is waiting outside the city with her army. That night, Fern and Stark sneak into the keep and work together to seriously wound Lugner. With Granat badly injured, the two adventurers decide to rescue him and withdraw. As he heals his wound, Lugner finally realizes that Fenrir is in the city. Frieren is in the city. I fucking hate her name because it's her name is so close to Fenrir. I hate it. Frieren is in the city. He recalls how Frieren is also nicknamed Frieren the Slayer due to killing more demons than anybody else in history. Outside the city, Frieren confronts Aura face to face.
Yeah. That is, I don't know what the U with the two lines over it is pronounced offhand, but dude controls blood. There's a scene where, when they're originally welcomed into the castle, the king takes him to his son's room. His son died in the conflict, and he was going to kill them. And then the dude's like, oh, I do the same thing with my father. And then they're leaving, and his accomplice is like, what's a father? He's like, I have no idea.
Yeah, basically, this guy can, like, if he has a cut, or, like, he just opens up his wounds. I don't fucking understand how he does it, but he can control blood and, like, make it into any weapon, or a whip, or fucking shoot it out at people, and he's, like, super fast. Fern is actually faster, somehow, and you'll find out in the next episode. But, like, basically that's what he does, and that's how he kills people. That's why he's so dangerous. And his accomplice has, like, lightning magic and fucking, like Mike said, can just make any weapon just appear. And she can match any training that anybody has had because she can read them so well in the way they move their body movements. So, the dynamic duo right there.
I like that the king isn't a moron. Like, he wants to kill them, and he's, like, kind of swayed because he doesn't know the demons aren't like humans. And, but he's immediately like, Frieren, like, didn't resist at all getting arrested or detained. Why would she just, like, randomly kill a guard? She seems to have, like, some respect for life.
Right.
And so he's immediately like, why the fuck's this guard dead? Where's your other companion? He's like, if you don't answer me where your other companion is, I'm gonna attack you. Dude just, like, bites into his arm, does his blood whip thing, like, kills everybody, takes him hostage. Then Stark finds him whenever Fern and them go into the castle, and what is it? Stark was told just to distract him for long enough, and Fern's, like, right outside the window and fucking blasts him. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, puts, like, a giant hole in his side, but he can just regenerate. It just takes a little bit of time.
What did you think? What do you think of Fern, by the way?
I like Fern a lot. Fern is just... The only thing I have is because it just seems like she has this super fast fucking power scaling. Where she's just all of a sudden, like, so ridiculously good, she's on par with anybody. Because it's like, they don't really show... They show a little bit of the advancement, and then after that one part where they show it, they don't show it ever again. It's just like, oh, she's God tier now. It's like, kind of how they...
Yeah, she got, like, trained a few times. And, yeah, that's about it.
Right. Episode 9 are the guillotine. Fern and Stark managed to get General... it's so close to General. Granat to safety in the town church, where he warns that Aura's trump card is a magic artifact called the Scales of Obedience, which measure the amount of mana she has opposed to the other person that she's like trying to fight, and she's trying to possess that other opponent. It's weird how it works. The one with the greater amount of mana can be dominant to the loser, which is how she creates an army of puppets. So as long as her mana in these scales is more than the other person, she can just possess them. And that's... She makes a whole ass army, and that's like her whole big thing. Frieren destroys some of Aura's puppets, and seeing that she still has no understanding of humanity, concludes that she can kill her like a monster. Back in the city, Lug and his assistant, Linny, I don't know how to explain her name, ambush Fern and Stark. While the demons initially have the upper hand, Stark learns Linny copied Eisen's fighting style from observing him in battle, but lacks the strength to execute his moves with killing force, because she has, like, no body behind it. She's just like this little girl that's just a copycat. And uses that to his advantage to purposely take a blow from her axe so he can land a killing blow on her. Fern seizes the initiative by taking advantage of her main strength of being able to cast spells super fast, even more quickly than Frieren, eventually overwhelming Lug's defenses and killing him. So that whole episode is basically all of the secondary fighters fighting, duking it out. It's a pretty badass battle. He's like constantly... You can just see his arrogance go away. And she's just fucking blasting him.
I really like this. That's one of the main... I guess a flaw with like Dragon Ball Z and certain other animes. They have... Like, Frieren is not... She's the main character that can blast people away, but that's just... She doesn't just do that all the time. Like, how about you guys do this? And then we get some side character action where we get to see them be cool and we don't have to just listen to them exist.
Well, it's like it said in the synopsis was she just left the city to go face Aura on her own and didn't tell anybody that she was doing that. So she's basically, because she knows those two can handle it, but they don't know themselves that they can handle it, forces them basically to fight them on their own without her. And they do, and they win. Which is actually, that was a pretty fun little trick card for the show that's not in a lot of other, like, animes like this. Like Mike was saying, what's that? Oh, I was just going to say, it's like you were saying that, like, the problem with Dragon Ball Z is, like, Goku is, like, pretty much always the hero.
Yeah.
But, like, you don't have to do
like Yamcha.
What is it?
Then there's characters like Yamcha.
Yeah, but Yamcha never wins, so. There's characters like Piccolo. Let's say that. There's characters like Piccolo and Gohan.
I'm more worried about, like, Chaozu and Yan and Yamcha, where they, like, exist for, like, no reason at all.
Well, I thought you meant, like, you have those side characters that are powerful, but you never get the satisfaction of seeing them actually win. You know? Like, Gohan, yeah, he did his whole, like, thing in the Cell games. Like, that was his arc to be great. And, like, it's like everybody, like, the DBZ fandom hates the fact that they just let Gohan become a pussy, basically. But he's not ever since Superhero, the movie that me and you went to go see, they're like bringing him back to like, that whole movie was fan service, where it's just like, we are bringing Gohan back, we know that you guys fucking love him and want him back, we're making him a fucking badass again. So like, Dragon Ball Super 2, hopefully we get shit like this, where he's just like, he's the fucking god now. You know what I mean?
This giant single spike of hair.
Yeah. Episode 10, A Powerful Mage. Mortally wounded, Lug is left to wonder how Frieren is so powerful until he comes to the realization that she had been suppressing her mana to look weaker than she actually is. Which I feel like I've seen that in another anime, but I don't know which one it was. Which is considered... Was it? Oh,
yeah,
suppressing
the
power level. The power level,
yeah. They do that in so many shows. They're like, oh, I was actually suppressing my power level. Like, oh, no!
It's considered to be a taboo among demon mages. Frieren then finishes off Lug in a flashback to 1,000 years ago. Flom comes across a destroyed elf village and finds Frieren, the only survivor. This is where they meet. Having managed to kill the demon general attacking her, Flom decides to take Frieren on as her apprentice and teaches her how to indefinitely suppress her mana. She also teaches Frieren how to fight demons, since demons are proud and self-confident in their own magic, basically uses it against them, and are incapable of suppressing their own mana. Flom explains that by suppressing their mana, they can trick demons into feeling a false sense of security where they can be destroyed in a surprise attack. Flom's last instruction to Frieren is to keep training and suppressing her mana and live in obscurity until she is powerful enough to defeat the Demon King. 1,000 years later, Heimel and his party track down Frieren and attempt to recruit her. Seeing that Heimel instinctively sense her true power, Frieren decides to join them. In the present, Ara uses the scales of obedience, but is horrified when Frieren shows the true extent of her mana. Ara is dominated by Frieren, and she is forced to behead herself by Frieren's order. That part was so fucking badass, dude.
Yeah.
It was so essentially, when the obedience scales, like, tip in her favor, she has Aura have a sword, and, like, slowly, like, she's trying to fight it, but it comes up to her throat, and she's like, Aura, kill yourself. And, like, turns around and starts walking away, and she just fucking cuts her own head off. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. As soon as I knew what the scales would do, I knew the fight would be kind of disappointing. I thought they did do a little bit of the fighting, where she fights, like, Aura's undead army, which is kind of cool, seeing Frieren do, like, that she's not just, like, a mage, she's got really high AC, so she just dodges, like, everything.
Yeah, I thought the highlight of these 12 episodes, fight-wise, was I still think it was between Fern and Stark fighting those other two underlings of, what's his name? Like, because those were actually badass fights.
Yeah. I always like the, people that control blood thing.
Yeah, that seems to become more of a thing in a lot of animes I've seen recently. I don't know why.
Evil, also.
Yeah. Episode 11, Winter in the Northern Lands. This episode was just kind of like... This episode was just, like, kind of filler, but what were you going to say?
In one of the last 3 episodes, it shows, like, how that city came into existence. Flam and Frieren were just walking through the snow, and Flam seen a shrub growing. And she's like, oh, puts a protection spell over it, and then, the area became, like, so safe, and the barrier grew with the tree, so the city built, like, around it.
Yeah. Pretty neat little bit. There's constant flashbacks and shit to show you what is actually happening. Like, it basically, every flashback is lore, and I really like how they did that.
Yeah. Whenever they were explaining how the aura thing worked, why demons don't even think to hide their power is because their power is a status symbol that helps organize them to better fight off the humans. And, whenever Flam was talking to Frieren about the mages thing, she just fucking, disintegrates the whole area.
Right.
It was a hill, and now it's not a hill.
Exactly. Episode 11, Winter in the Northern Lands. This is more of a filler episode. After paying proper respects to Aura's victims and enjoying Granad's hospitality, Frieren and her party continue on their journey, but plan to drop by at Allhurst, I don't know. A large magical city in the Northern Lands to get a first-class mage certification that will enable them to travel through the Northern Plateau. However, on the way, they get lost in a blizzard at the foot of the Shewer Mountains, I don't know, and Stark begins to suffer hypothermia. Fortunately, they find an emergency cabin and meet an elven monk named Croft. Frieren and her party stay with Croft inside the cabin for 6 months to ride out the winter. Croft then confides in Frieren that he decides to worship the goddesses because with all of his old friends dead and his accomplishments long forgotten, only she can remember his deeds and praise him when he finally goes to heaven. He then asks hold on.
Sorry.
He then asks about Frieren's past, offering to praise her in the place of the goddess. This triggers a flashback where Hyder once said the exact same words to Frieren, and she decides Croft's offer, stating somebody's has already praised her. Croft advises that Frieren cherishes her friends and companions before parting ways with her and her party. Sorry, I didn't want to lose my place.
Oh, good. How'd you like the introduction of Croft?
Oh, I was going to bring this up as well. They just, see this cabin and tear open the door, and they're like, fuck yeah, and there's, this dude just doing squats and Goku exercises, shirtless. They're like, fucking, they close the door, and Fern's like, there's a pervert in there. We can't stay here. It's like, he's not a pervert. What are you talking about? They open up the door, and he's just standing there. He's like, wait, don't leave. Seriously, just get inside. You guys are going to die. So they all come in there, and they just hang out. Shit. Just a random thing. But they have a discussion about them being elves, and he's like, He's real into the fact that she's an elf because they both obviously the decline in the population. He said it had been 300 years since he met another elf besides Frieren.
Yeah, and Frieren earlier said hers was about 600 years.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. I mean, you'd think that they would meet other ones in that giant span of time that they're alive.
Yeah. But, the only time we see that elf village is where Frieren, was born and lived at, and then all of them were slaughtered. So they said they were ordered by the Demon King to annihilate the elf village. So maybe the Demon King, genocided them or something.
Yeah, that was a thought that I had at one point. This is the final episode for us. For our review. Episode 12, A Real Hero. On their way to Obhurst, Frieren and her party stop by the village of the Sword, the resting place of the legendary hero's sword, so that Frieren can fulfill her obligation to regularly clear out the monsters attracted to the sword. Stark sees the hero's sword still embedded in the stone and is confused because he was told stories that Heimel successfully pulled the sword from the stone. Frieren remarks that Himmel failed at pulling the sword, but stories claimed otherwise after the fact. She then recalls how Heimel was not discouraged at all, simply saying that he will prove himself a hero by defeating the Demon Lord without the sword. The party then heads to the next town, where Fern learns it is Stark's 18th birthday, so she asks him what gift he would like. Stark reveals that he is not used to getting presents because his warrior family never celebrated them, believing he was a failure for being a coward, especially when he ran away when a monster attacked their village. Frieren reassures him that she and Frieren will make sure he will not run away, and helps him buy a silver bracelet. Upon returning to the inn, Frieren has prepared a Hamburg steak. Well, multiple of them, which Eisen had always traditionally done on his birthdays. Frieren revealed to Stark that among warrior cultures, a Hamburg steak is given to those acknowledged of their hard work. This triggers a memory of his old brother Stoltz secretly cooking him Hamburg steak on his birthday, as well as being the person telling Stark to flee the village so that he can live. Stark then feels some closure, realizing that his brother truly loved him. So yeah, they get these gigantic fucking, like, hamburger-looking steaks, and that's what apparently warriors cook for people on their birthday that are other warriors.
I don't know what a hamburger steak is.
Neither do I. Looks like a giant hamburger, truthfully. But, without the bun. It's just like the burger, the patty.
Is it just a steak that's on bread, or is it, like, ground up better meat or something?
It just looks like a giant fucking burger patty, bro. They don't even have bread on the fucking thing. They, like, put it on their plates, and it looks like a giant cake. Like, a giant brown, like, one-layer cake, and they're like, yeah, well, eat this thing. So, I don't know. But, when it does the flashback, it wasn't that he ran away as a coward. His brother told him he had to run and survive. So, there's a lot of epiphanies in this show, and this is, like, a big one. Because he always feels like he's weak, and that he let his people down and shit, but he never actually did. Like, he was just a little boy. And, like, his father called him a failure and told his brother he's wasting his time training him. And he actually wasn't, like, obviously, because now he's, like, a badass. So.
Yeah, it was weird. It's like, his father's, like, a dickhead. And his brother was, like...
the hero of the village.
Actually took the time to fucking sit there and train with him.
Yeah. His brother was, like, their most valued hero of their village or whatever. Or warrior.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. They were like, oh, look at his white cloak. It's never stained with the blood of monsters, even though he slays thousands of them. And then, like, immediately when he tries to get trade his brother, he, like, swings a stick and hits the ground and puts mud on it. I'm like, oh, see? That means Stark's even more badass.
That's what I looked at it like. I was like, oh, dude, he's either going to beat him to death or be like, oh, you got me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just kind of like a fucked up family issue deal. But yeah, it is a good place to end, though, for all this realization and shit. You guys should probably check out the show. It's written really well. Definitely one of the better animes I've watched, like, writing-wise. As long as you can get used to that.
What do you think of Frieren's design?
Very... I'm going to take a page out of your book and call it generic. I don't know, man. Shit, like, everything about her is just so, like... blah. I just don't like it at all.
I think her character design is very fitting for her. It, like, describes her personality without even having her to talk, really. Her, like, bland expression that she has, like, all the time. Her face is, like, slightly rounded, so she looks kind of cute while being, like, kind of average looking at the same time. Her eyes are really nice looking. I like that, like, weird teal looking shit.
I don't know, would mundane be the correct word to describe her?
Well, her, like, interactions with people are. They're very informational. Like, she just wants to know specific things.
And move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's more about, let's get this fucking job done. Does it. Okay, thanks, cool. Why you got that weird spell, and why did we have to kill like 1,000 fucking crazy demons to get that spell. He's like, oh, it's just a hobby. That's fine. And then walks away.
I like extremely relate to Frieren.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of see that.
I think the show's pretty good and all. But yeah, I more like Frieren as a character. I just want to see her do shit.
Right. Yeah, no, the show, like I said before, like multiple times, the show's writing is extremely good. It's full of little twists, the flashbacks, all that shit. It all plays really well together. I'm definitely going to watch the rest of it. I don't know what anime I'm going to pick next. I don't know what Mike is picking as a game next. Do you have an answer for that? Real quick, Mike, before we stop the show?
No. But, make sure to comment which were worse at, Japanese or German names.
Yeah, because I just wish everybody's name was Bob at this point.
Yeah, Bob, Sam, Tim.
Yeah, like you can just name somebody a name that's badass, like Stark, and not have it complicated to pronounce. Like,
well, it's like some of these German names.
Lugner? Like, whatever the fuck it is.
I'm pretty sure that
I got kids. I ain't got time to memorize these names, bro. I got a week to watch.
Languages, bro.
Huh?
You gotta learn different languages, bro.
Yeah. I gotta become cultured.
Yeah.
I feel like I do pull off the Japanese names pretty well, though. I feel like I am getting them right, and knowing from other podcasts that talk about Japanese names and shit, and games and production and animes and shit, I feel like I'm nailing them. But I'm just not sure if that's actually how they're pronounced. I just kind of roll with a flow of it, you know?
Yeah.
But alright, we'll catch you guys next time with Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom. I got a thing with one of my dudes. We're talking about doing a Doom, the Dark Ages episode. Another guy I'm talking about doing the lore and history of the Legend of Zelda. Another guy we're talking about game collecting. Talking about doing all these episodes, so you might have some surprise episodes in between or here and there every now and then. Yeah, we're just trucking along, guys. So we'll catch you later.
Adios, muchachos.